everyone, I'm Grahtles and welcome back to the best way to start your game in Satisfactory. So I did a part 1 to this. We finished tiers 1 and 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. So over here we did parts assembly. We got the assembler now and we got copper sheets. I already started making those. Over here we got solid biofuel, which I actually set up something right over in here. And as you can see, I have a constructor right here making solid biofuel and the biomass, and then we have our leaves. For now, that's keeping us up and running and we're getting some power, so that's good. Next, let's go ahead and head into here. Here we have our sink, our shop, and we'll set up those a little later. So we have to set up a space elevator because we have smart plating we need to make in order to move on to tiers 3 and 4. But my best advice is probably to let your game run. So go ahead, turn on your game, go make some dinner, take a shower, and build up a whole bunch of stuff. And the reason we're going to do this is we're going to set up some crates, put the stuff we made in the crates, and we're going to take this apart and start from scratch. So let's get started. Alright, so we deleted a lot of stuff that we needed to get rid of. I did leave the power up and running. I did leave the concrete and the iron plates because we're going to need that for foundations. But next, I'm going to scan for some Caterium. I made some Caterium wire, so this way we can get Mark II power poles. That's going to be really good when we start setting up our new base. And that's going to help because we're going to get 7 instead of 4 connections. So I'm going to just continue to erase all these and get rid of our copper, and I'll be right back. So next, I just start taking out the foundations, and if you hold control, you can get it on the world grid. And if you're new to the game, that is the easiest way because wherever you build in the world, all your grids should line up. So here I just lay out a whole bunch of foundations right up here on the top just to get us going. So this is important. We're going to need to make some reinforced plates. We're going to need to make rotors, and that's going to be super important to get those space elevator parts, as well as building. So yeah, let's just keep going. So I set up 2 miners on 2 different iron nodes, and we're going to run this 4 in a row. So we're going to do 4 smelters because we do 30 per smelter, and we're mining 120. So the math works. And we're going to do another 4 on the other side. So here I'm just putting the constructors in front of it, connecting everything up, and then I'll do the same thing after I get these hooked up. We're going to just do this in a manifold style, which means we're going to just have it come down and go into each of the machines on their own. So here we go. We're just hooking up the iron. And now we're ready to do the same setup next to it. So here's a detailed view of our setup for iron. We have 2 miners over in this area and this area to the right. And then we are making plates and then screws to make reinforced plates. The next ones are rods and screws to make rotors. And then we are making plates, rods, and screws for now. So plates, I need a lot of plates because we're going to make a lot of foundations to really get started. So that's why I doubled up on the plates. Screws is another one that you might want to double up on. But yeah, this is the basic setup that I have set up right now for our iron to get us to and through now. Basic tiers 3 and 4 coming up, and getting our smart plating, getting ready for smart plating. So let's move on. So I basically tore down our concrete, and we need to set up our concrete. I'm going to put this on the platform up higher where the limestone is. And yeah, this is what this looks like. Well, here you go. Nothing special. Just 1 miner to 3 constructors to our storage. That's it. And that's pretty simple, but it should get the job done. Alrighty. Now it's time to basically make some power. Constructors. We're going to need 2. Well, 3, technically. Production. That's an assembler. We want a constructor. We're going to go right about here. We're going to do another one right about there. We're going to do another one right about there. That's not centered. I want that centered. There. These are going to merge into here. Like so. Over here, going to be wood. Over here is going to be leaves. Over here is going to be biofuel solid. And then we're going to need some splitters. So, let's start this one here. I'm going to grab a biofuel power. And we're going to hook this up here. And this one up here. Then we're going to go down the line here. We're going to need some of these guys here, which are going to sit behind here. Let's see if we can do this. It's interfering with this one. We're going to get rid of that. It's going to leave us a crate there. It's fine. That's going to go there. That's going to go there. We're going to hook this up to here, this up to here. And we're going to need to go get our grass. So let's go ahead and do this. Go ahead and put the wood in here. That is wrong. Wood. And we're going to do leaves. The next thing we're going to do is put the biofuel that we have, that's solid, in these guys. We're going to go back here and we're going to just throw this in here. There we go. We're going to throw this in here. And now let's get this online. This is going to blow a fuse, so we're not going to do that immediately. We need some cable. Alright, I think for another purpose, we're going to just put down our hub again, just in case we die or anything else. We're missing iron ore. Not a big deal. We should be able to grab it from one of our crates or just out of the miners themselves. We don't have any in the crate. We'll just grab it from the miner. We have copper. That is iron. There we go. Alright, let's grab our hub. Put it down right there. Let's go ahead and grab a MAM. We can put that down now. We can go ahead and put an equipment workbench down now. And we'll show you the sink, the space elevator, and everything soon. We got to get this copper being made, so let's go ahead and do this. There we go. We're going to go ahead and grab the miner. Hopefully we have what we need. I don't know. We do. Perfect. This is going to be split. Let's see. 120. We'll grab a smelter. This does the copper, 30 per minute. I think we're going to just do 3 over here. It makes the most sense. We're going to do a splitter. From the middle here, I'm going to grab a constructor. That does not look lined up, which it probably isn't. Let's line this up properly. Why isn't it lining up with you? Should line up with this too, so there we go. It's not where I want it to be. This by no means has to be perfect, but I do want it to line up properly. And it looks like the way it is, it's just not giving me what I want, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm gonna come over here, try to line this up with this one. There we go. So over here, we're gonna go ahead and do ingots, we'll do that. We're going to do wire, we're going to do wire, and we're going to do copper sheets. The next one, let's hop on over. Over here, we're going to do wire into cable. So let's do that. This is now going to be cable. And then we just need our storage containers. I don't know why I don't put organization in my hotbar. I never do. And we'll do this one over here as well. All right. Now we just need to get this all powered up. This, I think, is a 1. We're going to make it into a 2. All right. So we have that hooked up to that. We're going to hit 2. We're going to grab the end one. 1, 2, and 3, and hook it up to here. Then we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Come down here. Hook that last one up. So that should be all together. And let's bring it out to there. And that should all be up and running. 168. Everything is green or yellow. Yes, yes. Alright, so now we are made whole. We have everything going the way we want it. It is much neater. And we are now making rotors and reinforced plates, as you can see. They're not coming in quickly. That is okay. We don't need it going crazily quickly, but we do need it being made. Next, we have a couple of things we have to get to. So, as I said here, we have the resource sink. So here we have our resource sink, and we have to put a container connected to it to put any items in to get tickets. Once you get tickets, you can take your tickets and print them out and then go to the store and you'll be able to buy items. Right now we have 21 tickets because I threw in a supercomputer that we had, found at a crash site, and that's not until late game, so we're not going to need it right away. So we can go ahead and spend some money on some foundations, walls, architecture, different things. I like the ladder. It comes in handy. Foundations, maybe some stairs would come in handy. But anyway, this is how you would spend your tickets in here. Right now, we just did really big parts assembly. We didn't do modular frames. We didn't do smart plating. Let's check our space elevator. We need wire. So let's go ahead and grab wire and make our space elevator. This is not permanent. It does not have to sit wherever you place it. We could put it right here if we'd like, just for the time being, which we might just do if we have the space. It's quite large, which we don't have the space. So let's come out into the area over here. See if we could just place it down somewhere over here. Like I said, it's not a huge deal. Once we find a spot, we'll just click it down. And now we're going to go make our parts for the space elevator. So now what we need is an assembler, which we can grab right here if we had some rotors. Again, our storage is all the way down here. We'll get that all straightened out later on. This is, again, almost temporary. It could be a permanent situation if you like, but most likely this will be maybe just a simple setup, and we can do a better setup of more aggressive stuff later on. But for now, this is fine. Right now, we want to make our space elevator parts, which is an assembler here. We could do that. I think this should fit into here. No. Let's move it down just a little bit more. There we go. This is going to be smart plating. We're going to put this on power. This is just a temporary setup, and that should be good to go. Alright, so we are almost ready. We have one more after this. Yeah, there we go. One more. And then we're ready to ship this off onto the space elevator. And we did a lot today. We're going to end after the space elevator, but we did a lot. We're making reinforced plates. We are going to take this down. There we go. After that, we're going to be able to start making rotors, and we're going to actually make more smart plating later on, because we do need it in the next phase. But for now, let's go ahead and ship this off. And yeah, we are well on our way to actually making some factories. Just gonna go over with you phase 3 and 4 when we open them after the space elevator real quick, to set you up for what we're gonna do for the next episode. Alright, we are sending it off. There it goes. Okie doke. So now we have phase 2 open, which is milestones or tiers 3 and 4. Let's take a look at that. So our biggest one here, we are going to do basic production. That is going to give us the steel ingots and stuff like that. Coal power, that's going to be very important. We're going to do that. And again, we need reinforced plates, rotors. We're making that over here. Modular frames, we'll make those soon enough. Enhanced security, we don't really care too much. We're not really doing any of that right this second. Logistics 3, once we open up steel, we'll be able to start doing this, and that's going to be super great. I can't stress enough. This minor 2s and Mark 3 belts. Those are going to be our big things with the steel production. So, again, in between this episode and next episode, my suggestion is let this run a little bit. Let this start building up some materials that you will need to get yourself going, like reinforced plates and some rotors. So here's a quick overview of our new base, and it's so much neater, so much cleaner. I love when things get neat and clean, but you need the parts to do it, and you can't start the game doing it just yet. You have to build up to it. So this is the quickest way I know to get things organized. And we have our copper to our left. We have the power up there on the top middle. We have the sink, the store, the hub, the MAM, the equipment workshop right there in the center. We have the concrete down below, right over that limestone node. And then we have the iron off to the right. And everything is set up nice and neat and clean, and we're making our basics. Now, we do not have the modular frames. We'll work on that on the next episode. But we are set to go with tiers 3 and 4. We're going to set up some coal power, which is going to be amazing. And we're also going to set up some steel in the next episode. So if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.